everybody. I am just here to show you some tips for sciatica pain. Recently, I've been experiencing some sciatica issues, um, which can be related to not feeling supported. So it is connected to like our skeletal, um, being upheld, our connection. It is also somewhat hip related, so that can be an emotional tie, for sure. So disease or pain manifests in the body um, in a physical way, but what it is, the root of it is some sort of emotional or spiritual manifestation of that in a physical sense. So what I have here is a couple of tips for you. These are some balls that you can use. You can use a tennis ball. These are very hard. They're used for releasing tissue, for knots that you get. Like it's similar to like a foam roller, so you can also use a foam roller if you have one of those. So I'm going to show you a few things you can do. So just set these aside, grab one if you have one. So the first one I want to show you is pigeon pose. So pigeon pose, you can get into pigeon from a downward facing dog. So you can lift your one leg, three-legged dog, and you bring your knee up. So notice how I bring my knee right to my wrist. So one thing to pay attention to in pigeon is looking back and making sure that your knee isn't rolling out to the side. We want to protect the knees, and you also want to be right in the center of the hips. So there's a tendency for people to kind of lean, like, so this isn't the pose that you want. You want to be right in the center of those hips, right? And looking over the opposite shoulder is going to help you square those hips. Once you're nice and deep into the hips, then you can sink down in and then walk yourself forward. So this is a really nice hip opener. So with sciatica pain, we are dealing with a the piriformis muscle, and it is basically some tightness that needs to be released, which can be helped with heat. Also, some chiropractic would be helpful. I'm not a doctor, but I am sharing my experience with you, and as a yoga instructor, I've learned tips to help you with your sciatica. So the best experience is our own, of course. So we need to release some of that tension, and so doing these specific poses will help you release some of that tension. Also, there is another one that you can do, which is a modified pigeon, which is going to be laying on your back, and you cross one leg over. Now you're going to do this on both sides. So you're going to grab through your legs like so, and you can just relax on the mat. You don't have to be up off the mat. You can also grab the shin if you need a little bit more. And so I can feel this a lot more with the shin. I definitely can feel that I need that stretch. So this is the second one that will help you get some of that relief. And after doing this last night, I felt a lot of relief. You can also take hot baths with Epsom salt, and just any kind of massage or chiropractic would help. Now, the sciatica nerve is very deep, so it's not something that you can really like massage out, so to speak. But if you work on the tension and the muscles around some of the, like the hip flexor and so forth, the next pose I want to show you is a lunge. So it's going to be a low lunge, and this one is, I find that a lot of people don't do well in yoga. So the main thing I see is that people bring their knee too far over in a low lunge. So low lunge is here, right? And a lot of times they'll be bringing their knee over too far, and you want to make sure it's aligned. But what we're going to do is we're going to take our hips forward in our low lunge. So you're going to bring your knee up, and then you're going to press your hips forward. And when you do this, tuck your tailbone slightly and then press the hips forward. And you can either bring your hands to your knee, just above the knee, or you can bring them to your hips, whatever feels good for you. So this is stretching out that really long muscle on the front of the leg there. So same thing here. You're going to press the hips forward. So tuck this tailbone slightly, pressing the hips forward. And it's okay in this particular pose for the knee to come over slightly. Now, adjust for your body. So if something doesn't feel right in your body, then don't do it. So I can really feel this, this hip flexor in this pose. There's definitely some tightness. And when I visited the masseuse recently, they did let me know that it was very tight in that area. I can feel the tightness. So what causes sciatica issues? Sciatica issues can be simply, like I said, emotionally, spiritually connected. We can be purging. So a lot of practitioners will tell you it's just body related. So they say, oh, well, just go to the chiropractor, right? Go to acupuncture, go to the doctor, get some prescription drugs, okay? Some muscle relaxers. But, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice, because we need to approach healing and wellness in a mind, body, soul way. If we're only focusing on the needs of the body, we are not addressing the other aspects of our being in order to accomplish healing. And when I talk to people about healing, I let them know that you can't just take a vitamin or a supplement or a pill and expect your life to change in magical ways. You have to change all aspects of you in order for that healing to be worked through. Maybe it's time to release something that you're not ready to release. Maybe it's to remind yourself that you are supported and that the universe is meeting you and coming up to support you. And it may not look like that right now. And that is the experience that you may be going through during this Mercury retrograde. So remember that healing comes from all aspects of our life. Mind, body, and soul. So if we're only addressing the physical, or maybe just our mind, or maybe just our soul, we're missing out on the other aspects of our being. We are a spiritual being having a human experience, so you can't expect to kind of band-aid the physical aspects of yourself, okay, and come through with a healing. I visited the chiropractor recently, and I went to one visit, and it was like an instant relief for a while, the same day, and then it went right back. So what did I have to do? I had to take healing into my own hands, and that means that I have to start a regimen where I am working that out. How does sciatica, how do these issues begin? Well, a lot of times it is from being off balance. Okay, so there was a time where I sprained my ankle. I was wearing some shoes that were not as supportive as maybe I would like. It was just a simple sprain, and what happens is that throws off the gait. And when you throw off the gait, you have it radiates throughout the body and causes an imbalance. So if we're not rooted and grounded, right, we can trip and fall, and then our life becomes off balance in some way. So what we need to do is find that balance in whatever way that we need to release what needs to be released. Sometimes these pains that we are experiencing are not our own. For example, ancestral lineage and also our DNA, so to speak, gets passed along. So past lives, it can be a multitude of things. So it's not as simple as just going to a doctor. It's not as simple as just putting ice on your seat. And there's a healing is very limited as far as practitioners go, because they are not encompassing this mind, body, spirit approach yet. We are moving in that direction. So I've shown you 3 poses: the pigeon pose, I've shown you the low lunge, and also tucking the table and pushing the hips forward to get into that hip flexor, and also I showed you the modified pigeon on the back. So the next one is going to be with these balls that I have here, or a tennis ball. You can use a foam roller, and you're just going to simply place it on the area of the tightness. Now, my glute is really tight on one side, and I can feel that it's from the gait issues that I've had. So you need to lay on it and kind of lift your body and then roll or sink onto it, and allow that. You kind of have to breathe through the pain. So when you press on it, you don't want to hold your breath, because you're holding that tension, you're holding that tightness and pain. I want you to breathe it out and just kind of let your muscles relax. You can tell yourself, just relax. Feel what it feels like to press on that and allow the tension to be released. You can even use visualization or light visualization, affirmations. So healing is a multi-level experience. Oh, that feels good. I definitely have some tightness there. So already I feel a difference and a shift in that. So I want you to just keep continuing with this. Remember that you are your own best health advocate, and check back for more tips on different yoga poses, meditations, and so forth. All things healing, mind, body, and soul. This is how we awaken to our true divinity, by focusing on our own healing and our own authenticity. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.